Welcome to Q-Wide, where this week our food for thought is food. Surfing on a smorgasbord of succulence, ce soir is our delicious panel, the rarest of truffles, David Mitchell. The choicest of cats, Rich Hall. The strangest of fruit, Jimmy Carr. And something furry that's fallen down the gap between the oven and the dishwasher, Alan Davies. Well, now we're all sitting comfortably, so let's ring for service. David goes. Jimmy goes. Rich goes. Alan goes. Right, now, before we tuck in, I've had a tongue down your... I've put a tongue. You will find a tongue. I've put a tongue. Is there a tongue under there? You see?
Is this what you're referring to?
Yes. There's a tongue. That is actually what's known as a tongue map. And during the course of this evening's festivities, I would like you to fill in the areas of the tongue that are responsible for which flavours. You may know there's a certain number of flavours that the tongue can detect.
So you're saying that each area is a different area of taste? So if you had that bit of your tongue, you know, lopped off, you wouldn't be able to taste certain stuff?
That's the theory of a tongue map. But there are only 5 things that a tongue can detect.
How does the food know where to go?
Anyway, while you're thinking about that, let's have a question. What kind of animal can you eat without killing it? Rich.
Crabs, unintentionally. In the South.
Yeah?
In the deep South, in the bayou. On the bayou. Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Freshwater mussels, they just pick them right out of the water, and they'll have these tiny pink crabs crawling on them, and they're considered a delicacy. And they're alive. They're alive when you swallow them.
These are things you can eat fully, an animal food stuff, but you don't kill the animal.
So something that sort of comes through like sweet corn, except it's still running around.
Oh!
Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying it passes through the entire digestive system.
Right,
no.
oh, right.
No.
But it stays in you and sets up a community.
Whatever they put in Yakult. Well, they which on about that, don't they?
Yes, bifidus digestivum. How? Or L. Casei
How stupid do they think we are?
David, you know these things. I'm so impressed.
I spend a lot of time watching television, and listening to the new made-up science is very entertaining.
I love the made-up science where they go, do you want to buy a tiny pot of off milk?
Yes! And they say it's always such a good deal. Just try it for 9 weeks, and then if you don't feel better, then give up, because actually, if everyone tries it for 9 weeks, we're in the money.
And do ladies sit around discussing bloating a lot? Is that a thing that happens?
Have they tried, ladies, if there are ladies
Because
watching this, and they've been talking about bloating, have they tried farting like a dock?
Oh.
Because it works remarkably well for me. Try to get someone to pull their finger.
Bloating. Lady bloating is different, I believe.
Oh, they bloat differently?
I believe so.
They also talk increasingly on the television about being constipated as well.
I've noticed
in general, the standard of female conversation seems to be plummeting.
That's true. What happened to the little ladies who used to be so refined? Anyway, no, because, I mean, actually, in a sense, you're probably right about bacteria, which would possibly pass through us and all the way and not be killed. But this is actually a delicacy. I'm inclined to give the point to Rich because he's sort of accidentally right, only he's sort of wrong as well.
It's not a story of my life.
It's one of the most popular foods, almost a national dish in some ways, of Florida.
Tapeworm.
Not tapeworm. Now, that, again, is a sort of candidate for the answer.
Didn't the tapeworm used to be a dieting thing?
Yes.
At the turn of the century, people weren't dieting and exercise. Well, that.
There'd be a pill with a tapeworm
and it would take it down, it would eat things. How did... That must work. Why don't we do that?
It works very well.
Well, there's the awkward moment when this tapeworm's got a bit large. The time has come to remove this, awful 10 yards of worm.
Yeah, you want to tie a string to it.
You have to tempt it out with a little salty drink near your mouth.
You have to tempt it out with a salty drink. This sounds brilliant.
No, but apparently that's how they dealt with tapeworm. One end or another, you tempt it out with a bit of food.
Yeah.
Well, I know which end I would prefer.
Yes?
Which end would you?
I'm just saying. Which? What? Huh? You'd rather pull it out of your mouth than your arse?
I think I'd go arse rather than mouth and tapeworm.
Sure, that's all
I'm just saying.
I think I'd have to have experienced a giant worm coming out of both orifices before I'd decide which was the least unpleasant. And it turns out that's actually a question I don't want to know the answer to enough.
Tempt it up like that, tempt it up a bit, get it up there, get its head out, and if you don't like it, take the thing away and put it down the other end, and
but then
it'll do a bit of a Yui, and...
which could be agony.
Yeah, it could be agony.
Tapeworm turning round inside you. Does it sort of reverse into the appendix and go round, or...?
I think they can go, but they don't really move anyway. They just sit with their mouths open, don't they? Yeah. And they clamp themselves onto your... That's the thing about
the wall of your tummy.
They hang on.
Aren't you supposed to sort of, when you tempt them out, which at the end of your preference, don't you then sort of roll it around a biro or something?
You know a lot about this for a man that's never tried it from either end.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's obligatory to tie it round a biro. I don't think you have to. I mean, have you heard somewhere that, what if you didn't, it would...
Well, what I heard is that you tempt it out, its head or whatever, one end of it comes out, and then you sort of roll it around something.
There must be nothing more depressing than to hear a tapeworm snap. And you think, well, that is stuck down there.
You're thinking of the guinea worm, which is the one you pull out with a biro.
Oh, right.
Apparently.
Is it some sort of a shellfish seafood item, like a crawfish?
No, it's really
crayfish,
exactly what...
crab?
It's a crab, but it's a particular kind of crab, very popular
Hermit
in Florida.
crab?
It's a stone crab.
Oh, right.
Stone crab claws are very popular. There is a stone crab, and the fishermen catch the crab, they snap off the claws and throw the crab back in, and it takes about a year for its claws to grow back. But it is considered a great delicacy, usually served with a sort of butter and mustard sauce. Very popular, indeed, in restaurants up and down America, but particularly, as I say, in Florida.
What does it do for a year, then, armless down, wandering about?
I mean, it's up to himself.
So the crab is dismayed when it loses its claws, thinking, now I can't get any work done. All that stuff, I'm trying to rearrange the seabed. It'll be a year before I can do any of that. I'm just going to have to lay up. It's almost like they're sort of fruit-bearing animals, aren't they?
That's pretty similar to that, exactly. Yeah. Like an apple tree has its apples taken off, but the next year it grows more apples.
So maybe they're trees. They're just seafoody trees.
Yeah,
they can walk around.
Same DNA.
You could have given me as an answer as well. There are certain tribesmen in the Masai Mara in northern Tanzania and Kenya who will drink the blood of cattle. You know, not kill them, but sort of slit the throat a bit and drink the blood, mix it with milk, actually. And then they bind up the wound again, and so they don't kill the cow. But that practice is dying out a bit.
They mix it with milk, so they think that cattle have two drinks. You can have one or the other, or a mixture of the two. Fantastic, these two-drink animals.
Anyway, stone crabs it is. They're returned to the sea alive, and their claws have been taken off. Over the next year, they grow a replacement, although it's never quite as good as the first one. Now, what can you usefully teach an oyster? Yes.
Is it, not to get its hopes up? Or to, expect lemon juice and death? Try and put up a struggle, it'll never work?
You teach it when you get lemons, make lemonade.
Oh,
cheer it on.
When you get lemons, you're seconds away from death. Because you're not like that kind of crab.
Well, when you think about it, there's not much an oyster can do, really.
You could teach it to blend into parties and make it look like it was invited.
That's true.
Could you teach it?
Because if you went to a party and there's a snack tray, no one ever says, "Who invited the oysters?"
That's true. No one says that.
Can you teach them how to do impressions? They do a brilliant impression of a whelk.
You could probably teach it rudimentary percussion.